Welcome to Surviving Life's Traumas and Dramas podcast, where me and my family have come together to share our experiences of our traumas and dramas and hopes it will provide you a place of comfort and encouragement with zero judgment. Just real conversations of our journeys so you never have to feel alone on yours.
That was funny. All right. So, this is part 2 of having the church leave a bad taste in your mouth. And even though I know that we covered it a little bit, there is so much more to unpack with that.
Mm-hmm.
What about the church left a bad taste in your mouth? Was that you releasing the bad taste?
Yes. Yes, there you go.
I know,
That was
amazing.
All right.
I will tell you that recently, about a year and a half ago, I ended up leaving an organization.
Organization. Heavy on that.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was a part of this, and I will go ahead and say religion.
Sorry, I blame the Nicole.
Yeah, me too.
That I was a part of this for over 30 years.
Damn.
And when I felt God was telling me it's time to leave, I argued with him.
How the church always tends to shun people that don't agree with them or, isn't doing what they feel is in the best interest of the church. For me, I think, honestly, everything left a bad taste in my mouth for the church. There are so many contradictions within the church, so many fake people in the church. They go to church on Sunday, and then the rest of the week, they are very hypocritical in a lot of ways. They treat people like shit. They make people feel like shit. And they do really bad things. And then on Sunday, they go to church and praise God. And it's even sometimes people at the pulpit. And seeing that, being a part of witnessing that was too much. And there was a lot of things that I questioned that I was trying to figure out to help other people. And I'm like, hold on, wait. I'm justifying something that I don't even agree with. This doesn't make any sense. And it left a really bad taste in my mouth for so many different reasons,
Well, they could be in a place, not every church, but a lot that I've seen, they've quit being in the hospital for the hurting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, fix yourself, then come to us. And if you don't look just like what you think you should, then you don't belong.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know what, you're hurting. What can I do to help? Can I pray with you? Are you hungry? Do you need anything? Because, Jesus even said, come as you are.
Yeah.
Don't get fixed up and all healed up and then come see me. And that's what they quit doing. They started being so
Fakey.
Yeah.
They're like a hospital for everything. Like you don't have insurance.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. That's a good way to
You're not
put it.
paying for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put
Or
it.
even like if you don't have private insurance.
Right.
If you have OHP, they might help you, but they're going to look down on you and talk gossip about it.
Well, and the other thing that left a really bad taste in my mouth too, especially with the church that we all went to at one point, is if your blessing isn't coming, that means you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Or something's blocking your blessing.
Oh yeah.
And because you have to figure out what is in your life, what kind of sinful nature are you in your life that is causing the blockage of this blessing that God has for you. in all reality, no. Maybe, just maybe, that isn't meant for you. And God has something bigger or better for you. And you just don't know it yet. But blocking the blessing because of an ideology that you want to shove down my throat, yeah, no thanks.
That's kind of where my biggest hurdle is with the church. Like, from the time I was little, like I would go to any church that I was invited to. Like I went to Baptist a lot with my aunt because she would take me with my cousin. I've been to Jehovah's Witness, more like any church I was invited to, I went to because I've always been drawn to that. Like I knew I wanted to be involved in the church somehow. As an adolescent, probably around 12, I started seeing a lot of the corruption in the church. One of the first churches I went to by myself, we lived in a little duplex and the church was literally right across the street from us. So I'd go over there on Sundays by myself. They found out who my mom was and I was no longer welcome.
Oh my.
That was the first thing. When I lost my first baby, I was told we lost it because there was something blocking our blessing.
That's a terrible thing to say to somebody.
Oh my gosh.
So having that on me, like I was questioning everything about everything that I was doing, like any thought that I had, like anything. I felt like I was a horrible woman. I couldn't give my husband a child, like all this stuff. But then like finally coming out of that and realizing, no, like I'm doing the best that I can, and I know that God knows I'm doing the best that I can. Like I'm not doing anything to block my blessing. But that kind of opened my eyes too, to just look at the people that were saying that to me. Because all the leadership were fake as hell.
Yeah.
Like they're matchmaking with the youth behind the scenes.
Yep.
They got their own dirty secrets.
Yeah.
They're up there preaching. They're up there being leaders to youth and other adults, and then telling me that I am doing something blocking my blessing. Like that's when I really saw a lot of bad stuff in the church. And since then, I have a very negative taste in my mouth about church. I've only been to one church where I felt like the pastors were real people, and I wasn't just a bank account for them, because they would even say, when they'd, call for tithes, if that's your Taco Bell money and you don't feel like giving it cheerfully, keep it. Go get your Taco Bell. Like they were very real about it. And I appreciated that. But even that, like the leadership were doing shady stuff outside the church. So it's just like, I would rather create my own relationship with God. And
Specifically stays in my mind in the church that we went to, you too, when I was a kid or teenager. I remember that my mom had no money, right? Literally no money. She was a single mom. We lived in like the ghetto area of the town, like in low-income housing. She didn't have money to do anything. And I remember that the pastors and because there's a big pastoral group, and all of their kids and all their kids' friends and, all those people, between services, they would all go in the back and have a lavish lunch.
Yep.
Just an absolute lavish lunch. They spared no expense every single Sunday for the money they were spending on this food. And all the while, my mom couldn't even afford to buy us like a candy. And she was still tithing. She was still doing her due diligence. She was still an usher for the church. Like it's just so unbelievably asinine to think about that. It's so ass backward that it makes me want to punch something. This is where my anger comes from.
I was just gonna say that's anger.
Like, it's absolutely against what it's supposed to be. And I just can't deal. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Sad. Really sad.
on a side note, though, you made an amazing usher. I
You
love coming
did.
in, like
Oh,
your
yeah,
energy.
you did.
You were the favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so you know.
You would even get in fights with pastors' daughters because
Oh,
they
yes,
would
I
shut
did.
the hell up.
And this pastor's daughter says, "Do you know who I am?" It's like, I know exactly who you are.
Imagine saying that at a church.
Yeah. And
Ugh.
it's like,
Gross.
well, I'm this person. It's like, yeah, and my name is Nancy.
Yeah, what's that got to do with
Please,
anything?
when service is going, please. And and she took it to her dad. And I was asked to step down. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No joke.
Mm-hmm.
I was told you need to step down.
Looks tries to come
Ow, eyes right on you.
Yeah. And it's because I stood up to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting.
Man, I want to see her on the
I
street.
guess speaking of that is when people say, well, God told me. No, bitch. God didn't tell you shit. It is all what you want, and you're using the name of God
There it is.
That happens a lot.
to get what you want. Even scripturally,
Yes.
you manipulate whatever scripture you want to use with whoever you want to use it with to get your own way. Excuse the hell out of you. Like who? What?
And to manipulate an entire congregation.
Yes.
There on the pulpit. And scripture is subjective.
Yes.
Like we all interpret it differently.
Yes.
The Bible's been interpreted how many different times to get to what it is now?
That and like you can read it once and interpret it one way.
Yep.
And depending on your emotional state, when you read
Yep.
that again, it's gonna hit you a whole nother
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Submit to your husbands, and then literally right after says, and husbands are to love their wives like Christ
Yes.
loved the church.
Yes.
Like you shouldn't submit to some loser
No.
who's treating you bad.
No.
You know, that's BS. I don't believe that God would want that.
No.
no, but to take a step back, like
Yeah.
if we look at an older generation, like maybe even your guys's, and maybe even a little bit farther back, is like my grandma.
Yeah.
She was very submit to your husband. If she would have gone to church and heard that, not knowing the scripture at the time, she would have felt condemned.
Sure.
That maybe she had questioned him about something that morning,
Yeah.
and she would have taken whatever.
Yep.
Like there's that.
Yeah.
So they're being a huge part of it.
Yeah, because you both hold on, wait, sorry, Mom. You both need to respect each other.
Yeah.
You both need to have mutual, not the man and then the woman. In my opinion, and it might not, it is what it is.
From the rib.
Yep, you need to be side by side.
Yes.
And if you guys cannot respect each other equally and trust each other equally and communicate with each other equally, then something needs to change. You got to fix yourself.
Yeah, and that's the rib thing. It's a partnership. It's
Yeah.
a 50. It's a, that's just how it is. And as far as husband loving, wife submitting to your husband, if whoever would have actually researched it, it said, basically, if your husband is telling you to do something and it's not a biblical thing, and I do agree with the biblical stuff, but I also agree you got to know what it really says and not what it's being pulled out to make it look good for you.
You start feeling guilty regarding the things that you're hearing in church and not able to do at home because of the church and how they present it and how they deliver their message. And then when you find out years later that behind the scenes they weren't even,
They don't even live that.
no.
Well, and in the Bible, Jesus, like you were saying, it was the Pharisees, it was the Christians, the ones that called themselves Christians, that he called vipers and all that stuff, and it was the people that weren't in the church that he went and he ministered to. That's why I said the church has quit being a hospital.
Yes.
Well, and to add to that, Mom, I have come across, that included, many people that don't go to church, don't really have a faith, but are more godlike than anybody else I have ever met in church. Because their heart isn't being subjected to what we're learning, somebody's point of view in the church.
We have these pastors that are up there talking to the congregation. Right? The seed they're sowing is tainted, corrupted seed.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All of us Christians, we need organic material straight from the Bible for ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, it's true. That's what started pulling me out of that was, okay, God, it's me and you. I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from what everyone else tells me. What everyone else is teaching. If I don't hear it from you,
And what we're talking about kind of segue to my next question is, how did that shape how you believe and what you believe now?
Like what I expect from God, and what I expect my walk with God to look like. I don't like reading, so I'm not big on reading the Bible. So I do actually have an audiobook, but it's really just I have to relearn everything because I know what I learned in the church was not right.
it's a
I'm starting
personal
all
thing.
over. Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Every relationship with God is a personal thing.
Yeah. Well, and how it shaped me, I resented God for a long time because I'm like, there is so much shit that's happened and taken place. And there's so many religious aspects that we were taught that for me, I'm like, where were you? Where were you during this time? How can this be okay with you? And even though I've done everything that I can within my power to praise you, to live by your word, this is still how it turned out, even though I prayed on my knees and cried out, but this is still, where the hell were you? And that, I had a lot of resentment towards God because of that. But now it's also shaped me differently, and it shaped me to, yes, still have faith and believe in God, but know that there is God, like we talked about in the first part of this, God is so much bigger than the box we put him in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even though I have faith and believe, it's very different for me because I look at God in a different way now, and being like, you literally created everything in this world.
Can I just add to that and say
Please.
we give the enemy way too much power?
Yes, holy crap.
Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Why are you looking at me?
Because, Mama, you give the devil way too much energy.
No, I just recognize different things.
But yes, and I have learned that. I have learned that I have given the devil way too much credit for many things in my own life, and I've had to redefine that for myself too. Like certain movies or certain TV shows or certain music, I was always told, like for instance, Harry Potter. I was always told that's witchcraft. To me, devil worship. Yeah, to me that's not at all. To me, it's really cool stuff. But to everybody else, it doesn't seem that way. It is. Like they have like really cool, like, I don't know, it's a cool movie.
I don't know. Or
What?
using
That God created?
Yeah.
different herbs.
Awesome.
It's all witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like a lot of these witches from back in the day were healers.
Yeah.
They were using herbs as
Yeah.
medicine.
Yeah.
But because they didn't understand it, because these people were ahead of their times, it was witchcraft. It was
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
So that's all been corrupted.
Yeah.
And I think some of it comes from the church too. So now we have all this religious saying, you can't go outside and dance in the rain. That's witchcraft.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't use sage in your home. It's witchcraft.
Yeah.
which studies actually show burning sage in your home kills so many germs.
I just think I was so indoctrinated for so many years into thinking a certain way, into thinking that I was supposed to have a certain life and I was supposed to marry a certain person. And
You guys were supposed to marry the same
yeah, but
guy.
even after that, because that was just silly.
That was that was a crush.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, it's God.
And
No.
he played it.
Anyways, go ahead.
Even after that, though, somebody else. And I was so, like, I just had it in my head so heavily that I was supposed to do these things that, like, I swear, probably 10 years into my marriage still, I felt like I was not living the life I was supposed to live according to God, and I wasn't with who I was supposed to be with. I was so indoctrinated that I thought maybe my son had a heart condition because I married the wrong person.
No.
Like, it went so deep in my brain thinking that I was not doing what God wanted me to do because I had, when I had stepped away from all that is when I met my husband. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm being punished because I didn't go the way I was supposed to go and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was so bad. It took me so many years. And now I'm like, oh, that's insane. That's totally crazy. This man was like built for me.
Yes.
Like, it's actual perfection. And also, even if he wasn't, that's still crazy. That's still so insane. I hate to admit that I thought that way, but I did.
And
But God's love and the church hasn't shown that.
Yeah.
They haven't. We should be the hospital. The church should be the hospital. And I agree with what you were talking to one of your boys about as far as the church isn't the church. It's us. We are the church.
Yeah, well, and part of the reason why I talk to my boys about that is because they are hearing the same things that we heard in a church, and I want them to have a mind of their own when it comes to their faith. I don't want it just to be under one roof, one person. I want them to have a belief system because they want to have it, not because somebody told them they have to have it. I want them to have a faith-based system to where they feel comfortable in, not what somebody else is telling them. And
Yeah.
it's not always like that. And so because it's not always like that, I try to help them navigate, try to have them question.
Yeah.
If you don't understand something when it comes to your faith, and you don't understand something when it comes to God, or believing, or praying, ask. Ask about it. Don't just take somebody's word for it, because honestly, that's how we get in so much trouble, is we just take somebody's word for something.
Right.
And I mean, I know that that's why I started getting a bad taste from my mouth for the church, because I always just took the pastor's word for it. I never questioned the pastor, ever.
Yep.
God, can't even imagine doing that at that time.
Yep.
you weren't supposed to.
No,
we weren't.
And when I did start questioning, I felt bad for questioning because we were brainwashed into only believing one thing, and that one thing that came out of that one person's mouth.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so big with my boys. Always question stuff. It's so important.
Well, they're supposed to shepherd and they're doing a poor job.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, not all of them, but a lot of them.
My last question that we're already kind of talking about. How did it impact your life? Whether negative, positive, or indifferent?
It was very negative.
Yeah.
Very.
And negative how?
Just the way they were teaching. The way, because I'm gullible, and I'm the first to admit it. I'm very gullible. If you say it, I'll believe it. Squirrel. And
Hey, I got one of your kids to believe gullible was written on the ceiling.
Oh, that's
Totally looked up.
I'm going to try that with you sometime.
and it's just, it was very negative because I never got in his word to seek him. I was going by what the pastor said.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing with that.
even though it's wild to say this, but there's so much drama and bullshit inside the church. Like, people love to gossip.
Yes.
It's like candy to a baby. They love it. And so going to your negative, yeah, because gossip is negative. Gossip, it impacts people. It can hurt people, especially when the gossip most of the time is false anyway. How is that helping? Like, you're supposed to help people, not provide gossip.
Or I had never felt so judged
Right?
in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, that was the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I honestly, I don't think I will ever go back to a church because of that.
That is the thing that really puts a bad taste in my mouth towards the church is they will put on a whole production for Christmas time or Easter time. But you have starving people. You have single mothers that can't pay for rent, can't pay their electricity bill, can't afford food. They're working really hard on faithful tithers. But yeah, you're going to put on a whole production for the church. I'm sorry, but isn't the whole point of a church
To take care of the flock.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And isn't that like how you want to get people and not to have a production? Nobody, you don't care about a production that happens in a church if you're starving, if your kids are hungry, if you're homeless, so on and so forth. You don't care about the production. The
Production.
thank you.
Yep.
What you care about, what the church should be caring about, is broken people, like you were saying, Mom, is broken people. And having ministry of when you feed people, right? Or having a food pantry, or having a clothes pantry. Do you know how beneficial that would be to some families not going to the church and being like, so let's go based upon the last year of your tithing. Listen, I understand that as a church, the only way that you can still be operating is by your tithe. Okay, I get that.
But if
But-
someone's humbling themselves,
Right.
I need help with my rent.
Yes.
You know, I've been coming here for
Yes.
years.
It
Yeah.
should be hands down.
Especially we're not
Done.
in this instant we're talking about a small church. We're
Right.
talking about a mega church
Yes.
with
Large
lots of
church.
money
Yes.
and lots of rich people running
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I feel like with a small church, they rely on those tithes to operate, but I don't think it should be their only financial gain. Like they should be working too.
Yes.
If they they need to do that unless they're just independently wealthy.
Yeah.
I know of a small church, and they do, every week, they have people come and get food. And they're a small church,
Yep.
but they have a little food bank, and they,
Yep.
it's
I feel like that's mostly with small churches.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it with a bunch of big churches.
it's just not cool.
Flip up the tables and start again.
Yep.
And on that,
Boom!